There you have it, your APTA National Champions.
Best match of the year.
Brilliant shot.
Incredible stuff. And it's sitting up and he's right there.
Good morning and welcome to the APTA Tour. We're live from the Glenview Club in Gulf, Illinois, bringing you the 23 APTA Chicago Nationals, which is the 13th and final stop of the 22-23 APTA Tour, presented by Remedy Plus and sponsored by the APTA membership, the APTA National sponsors Paddle Pro Infusion, and local sponsors Illinois Bone and Joint Institute, Wintrust, and Viking. I'm Mark Fischel, along with Anthony Casamano, bringing you the national semifinals between our number 1 and number 5 seeds, Johan Duran, Stephen Mitchell, playing against Tyler Frazier and Adam Morgan. Anthony, pleasure to be with you this morning.
Good morning, Mark. Welcome everyone this morning. Little rain, but the courts seem to be drying up a little bit. Let's take a quick look at the draw and see how our players arrived at the semifinals here. For Durant and Mitchell in the round of 16, had a brawl with Hirsch and Wagner, won that 6-1 in the third set, and then played Martin Bostrom and Philippe Rams 7-5, 7-5. On the other side of the draw, Frazier and Morgan have not played more than 2 sets all tournament so far, beating Kaler and Rose 7-6, 6-3, and then playing last night against Humphreys and Assis Koenig 7-5, 7-6 in a brawl. So here we are, and ready to get started with the other semifinal as well. And Erdoya versus Hughes and Powers.
And welcome to the finals of the 2023 APTA National Championship.
Chair umpire Rob
here
Laboon.
at the Glenview Club. Today's final round match will be the best 2 out of 3 sets. If we go to a third set, that set will be played out. There will be no tiebreaker for the third set. On my left, from Cincinnati, Ohio, Tyler Frazier, and his partner from Lake Bluff, Illinois, Adam Morgan. On my right, from Wayland, Massachusetts, Johan Durant, and his partner from Natick, Massachusetts, Stephen Mitchell. Frazier Morgan won the toss and have elected to receive.
Okay, so just for our viewers, Durant is wearing the blue hat. For those of you not familiar with him, and I don't know who is not familiar with Johan Durant, and his partner Stephen Mitchell in the black, and then that's Tyler Frazier in the white hat, and his partner Adam Morgan just left the court. I'm going to ask Ann Waldron to get some confirmation for us on what Rob Laboon said. He mentioned that the third set will be played out, and my understanding was that was only for the finals of nationals, not the semifinals. Is that what your understanding is, Anthony?
Yes, that would be my understanding as well.
So Ann Waldron is going to get confirmation for us on that. Okay, so let's talk about these teams. They played a number of matches together. The last time they played against each other was in Boston, which was an absolute demolition 6-love, 6-1 win for Durant Mitchell. Prior to that, they played some spectacular matches, including last year in Philly, a 7-6 in the third match, which was unquestionably the match of the season. So, Anthony, take us through the mindset when you've had some tough battles with the team, and then the last time it wasn't close. How did you approach that?
Well, I mean, Frazier and Morgan are certainly tacticians. They know the field. What they will do is reevaluate what happened in the last match and come out with a new battle plan. We heard it this morning. The captain of that team is clearly Tyler Frazier. He told us straight out, and I'm sure he and Adam Morgan have talked at length about what they're going to do today, and it will look a little different than they've done last time, I'm sure.
Tyler makes me salute him every time I see him, so that's been a clear message as to the captain.
There is a tiebreaker in the third set.
Okay, so we got clarification from Rob Laboon. It is a tiebreaker in the third set. The other thing to mention is Johan Durant, in addition to being the greatest player who's ever lived, is the greatest rain player who's ever lived. He understands how to play in the rain. He was the difference when they won the Nationals in the pouring rain in Canoe Brook in 2021 on a really slick court. The year these guys played in the semis at Canoe Brook, Frazier Morgan didn't adjust at all, served sidearm, which is something obviously you can't do. Now, I don't know how much of a factor that's going to be, Anthony. You and I walked the court, and it seems like it's in pretty good condition.
Yeah, and it looks like it's getting better and better as the morning progresses. I think we're going to see rain and snow pretty much throughout this, but it looks pretty light right now, and it really shouldn't affect the bounce.
Okay, Johan Durant to serve to Adam Morgan. The other factor we're going to have to keep an eye on is Stephen Mitchell, who had a pulled muscle in his leg on Monday in a league match and hasn't been moving at top speed, so we'll have to watch for that.
I'm sure Adam Morgan and Tyler Frazier know about that, and we'll see if they're going to poke him early to see if he's moving well.
The other thing to reference is this is the third consecutive year these four teams have been in the national semifinals.
I was just about to ask you if anything looks familiar out here. And not only is this the third consecutive time that these four teams have been in the semis, this is the exact same matchup that we had 2 years ago. So these teams are familiar with each other at this level in the Nationals.
Misses that one, looks to the chair for confirmation and gets it. Anthony, talk a little bit about your preparations for Nationals. I mean, it was a different event in the day when you were playing 5 matches on Saturday. But how did you prep for the event?
Steve, well, my longest term partner, Stephen Haller, and I would, at least I would, and I know Steve was pretty close to this strategy, is we'd start a couple of days early, hydrating. I have a pretty strict exercise routine. I would actually cut that down really light and just stay loose and stretch.
What a half volley from Durant.
And we'd play just a couple of times before the Nationals, and we wouldn't try not to overdo it. We weren't actually big for the pre-game warm-ups. I know a lot of teams get out there a good half hour before, 40 minutes before, and warm up. I felt that to be a little too much for me. I'd like to be on the court for about 10 or 15 minutes before the match, and that was it.
A lot of early drop shots from Durant, really moving Morgan around. Durant took a good hard look at that one before calling it out. They've got game point. Start off the match. Tyler Frazier positioning himself to hit the backhand. Got a great two-handed shot. Also, I think drives return to serve less than any top player. He's a dynamic mover, loves to blitz, creates a lot of spin at the net. We were talking to Jared Palmer after a match against Durant, and he said it was one of the great quad workouts he'd ever had.
Well, we know Durant actually, he uses that drop shot, not necessarily always to win the point, but to create that movement back and forth where then he can step up to the net and volley it away, and he does that so well, he baits you into this. He wants Adam Morgan to drive that ball right at him and go right back at him.
Even though it's obviously very early in the match, I think it's really important for Frazier Morgan to get off to a good start and kind of erase the memories of what happened to them in Boston. Get off the seam for Morgan.
Funny bounce off the seam.
You get a good look at version 2.0 of Durant. So when he first came out, he just completely dominated play with his overhead. It was in, I think, every single national semifinal from 2010 to 2023 with one exception. And, you know, Drew Broderick kind of came up with a strategy to outlast him. But then once he started playing with Mitchell, he started being willing to hit that reset overhead in the middle and showed a lot more patience. I remember asking him about it. He said, well, if you get kicked in the head enough times, you learn something. In inimitable Johan fashion.
Well, that's a great point because you know when we see the top players winning at almost every iteration, you say, well, that team's never going to lose. Araya Parsons, they're playing great. They're going to win the next one. Hughes and Powers, and the adaptability of the top players, it's evolving every single year. And when you see these great shots, the next year the top opponents, they know how to neutralize those great shots. They know how to figure out a new strategy. It's a small court. You figure out a way to win. Durant, like you said, went away a little bit, refigured it out, and now he's back at the top. He has 5 national championships with 3 different players, and so he's nothing if he's not adaptable.
Yeah, he's so innovative too. It's like when he came on the scene in 2010 in Philly, he was hitting that hard overhead at people and he was tagging people. I think you guys played him in the quarters that year. And it was just semis, and it was just such a process. And then everybody kind of adapted to that shot, and then he shifted away from it and started using more spin on the ball. Just fascinating to watch. I think one of the great things in sports is seeing somebody do something that hasn't been done before.
And then figuring out a way on how to neutralize that shot. I remember the first time I saw Brian Uline serve at Short Hills, he was the first person who had those big, huge spins, and he served down the tee to me and the due side, and that ball bounced off the back screen and then bounced off the side screen before I could catch up to it, right? And he was the first one to be able to do that. And we got crushed by them the first time, and then we ended up beating them 2 times later down the road. You figure it out. You have to.
30 love.
Mitchell loves that forehand return. He's got one of the best in the game from the ad court. Early misses from Durant Mitchell. One of the things that makes them so tough is they spend so much time at the net. And it'll be interesting to see how much Fraser Morgan can get to the net today. Last night in the match against Humphreys Koenig, Fraser was just crushing his serve. Just as hard as he could, aiming for the nick.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to watch that match, but we were getting regular updates, and it sounded like it was a fantastic match to watch.
Yeah, up 6-3 in the breaker. Fraser hit 2 absolute cannons, lost both points, and the one that pointed 6-5 was a returner to win the match. Humphreys Koenig was disconsolate. They've had a tremendous year. That's a smart retreat from Morgan, but Durant beats him anyway.
What a great pace on that forehand from Durant. Does not come out of
40,
the back screen.
15.
See the ball, it's got virtually no flocking on it already.
Yeah, I wonder if they've decided to change the ball more frequently. The rule is usually every 7 games. If the teams can agree to a different cadence if they like.
Fraser Morgan. Games are 1-all, first set.
You can see the ball marks on the court, which means they're still leaving some wet marks there, but it's almost completely dry right now.
Morgan probably drives the ball more from the backcourt than any other player in the country. That's the fine line that Fraser's going to have to walk. He loves to blitz, but getting into hand-to-hand combat with Durant is like tugging on Superman's cape. It's not a sustainable strategy. Variety and the Durant overhead, it's just amazing. So many different shots, speeds, spins, shapes.
I always say if you watch him hit 5 overheads in a row, it's very possible he won't hit the same shot each of those 5 times. He'll hit a different overhead 5 times in a row.
Great volley from Mitchell. That's a backhand from Fraser that wins the point against a high percentage of the players in the country. Oh. Finally gets an error.
3 big drives in a row.
Big driving there.
15 all.
And one of the things that makes Durant Mitchell so good is they know their roles. Mitchell's out there to hit the forehand, make some volleys, and let Durant hit the overheads. Adam Morgan looks locked in early.
He does. I love watching Adam Morgan play. He's such a workhorse. He plays. He's always moving. If you watch him position himself on the court, he's always in the right spot. He's moving his feet at all times, looking for the right opportunity. He has great shot selection. Can hit the ball from both sides. He's always careful about his decision making.
Okay, Frazier wins that battle. Yeah, Morgan's just such a self-made player.
30.
Kind of sense how many hours and hours he was on the court, making his shots, working on things.
When you talk to people,
that's a great chase down. Durant Mitchell staying the point. Another miss from Durant, an early break opportunity.
15,
this is
40.
not unique for Durant. He does tend to get off to a slow start from time to time, and sometimes it can extend all the way through late in the first set, but eventually he'll lock himself
They
in.
lead 2 games to 1, first set.
Our chair umpire today is Rob Laboon.
One of my many ex-partners. Frazier Morgan have to be very happy with the start.
So to continue my thought from before about Adam Morgan, when you talk about club players watching this level of paddle, and you're not going to tell them to emulate Juan Araya, you're not going to tell them to watch Johan, right? We can't do those things. Adam Morgan is the best player that plays the game, in my opinion. Grassroots, plays the way it's supposed to be played. Watch him play, learn how to do it that way. Because it's something you could potentially mirror that approach, even if you can't play it that well.
That's a great comment.
The way he follow through on his lobs and the way he watches the ball, it's really, he's a great role model.
Look at that, Morgan's got a waist-high forehand. Durant Mitchell didn't move an inch.
They did not flinch, and that's what we were talking about a little bit earlier. Durant wants to see that. He loves that point.
30, love.
Getting a litany of errors off of the Durant paddle right now. It's completely unforced. Frazier Morgan did more of this than any team in the country in terms of signals, poaching.
Well, Morgan and Frazier were the first team out here this morning. Patty and I got here quite early, and they were already here on the court, hitting, warming up. And I didn't see Durant on the court at all. So he does most of his warm-up in the first 3 games of the match, I guess.
$30, 15.
A little bit of a wild look there from Frazier. That's a long way to travel to drive a ball.
$30 all.
Interesting, Morgan's not coming in against Durant at all there. That's a good play early on, especially with Durant making so many errors. You mentioned that, Anthony. Durant's going to go through those phases. It kind of comes in and out of the match, because if he didn't, then he'd never lose a match.
Right.
And you have to take advantage of those moments. And I think play extra special patiently at those times. Because if he's going to give you some donations, you've got to be willing to accept them.
You have to be able to capitalize on them, because you're not going to get them all day. He will eventually
It's like there, you see that blitz from Frazier, which, you know, things are going really good and they're playing well, maybe, but here you're getting some errors from Durant. Give him a chance. 30-40. Oh, Durant jumps in front of Mitchell, who's got the high forehand.
It looked like he wanted to try that on the previous shot as well. He's looking to cheat into the court. Just caught the sideline on that return.
Here I look to see Frazier Morgan play a really patient point. Got to be careful with that three-quarter shot to Durant. Use Powers break for Joya to start the match on the next court. Conditions couldn't be much. Another miss from Durant. I was going to say conditions couldn't be much different from Long Island last year.
Advantage, Mr.
55,
Morgan.
60 degrees on Sunday. Just beautiful weather. Everybody was in shorts.
I think we're still in the realm of top paddle conditions right now. It's been tough this weekend, but right now it's actually it's nice. It's overcast, not too cold. Most of the moisture is off the court.
Juice.
So that's one of the places that Frazier can get exploited. He plays so close to the net. I mean, he moves exceptionally well, but that was a quick block lob there from Mitchell and caught him moving the wrong direction. He misses the overhead. Durant just got caught in transition there. I'm not sure where he was going.
Advantage, Mr. Morgan.
It's an interesting cat and mouse going on here. Frazier is absolutely giving the indication that he's going to be roaming at that net, and he's going to make both Mitchell and Durant think about where they're hitting that first drive.
Great volley.
Yep, and it's working. He's creating a little bit of chaos
Frazier
up there.
Morgan. They lead 3 games to 1.
That was a big
First
hold.
set.
A lot of positive energy from Frazier Morgan. Frazier is just,
15.
as I said earlier, really locked in and everything very cleanly right now. I'm not missing anything. Big backhand from Frazier there.
Yeah, he measured that one up early. Durant disguises his drive, goes
15
inside
all.
out.
Nope.
Frazier's blitzing at just about every point. And Mitchell,
15,
who's
30.
incredibly solid at the net, has flinched a few times now. Just a lot of pressure.
See the movement Durant created there with his overheads and drop
30
shots.
all.
But again, Frazier Morgan have to be really careful with that three-quarter pace drive. That's what got him in trouble.
All deep.
Another fault
30,
from Durant.
40.
Durant loves to create motion. He thrives when the points are moving fast, and those overheads and then drop shots, he creates that.
So that's the type of shot we just don't need at this point. You're getting all these errors from Durant. Give him a chance.
I don't know what went through his mind for that one. But
that was that Steve DeRose cut return.
That's funny you say that. I was just thinking that.
The first time Steve pulled that shot off against me, I was like, oh, come on, you can't hit that shot. But of course, Steve could hit any
He
shot.
could hit it. I was actually just telling some guys at my club the other day that I had never seen a shot like that in my life, and it was impossible to return. If you pointed your paddle straight up in the air, it would fly off your paddle, and if you put it anywhere in between, it would shoot right into the net.
So much spin on the ball.
But that's a Thursday night match shot, not necessarily a semifinals in the national shot.
Especially at this moment in the match where they're playing well and getting some errors. One of the things about these 4 teams that separates them is they play at multiple paces. Play fast, play slow, play in between. If you can't play at multiple paces, you're not getting here. Knowing what's going on the other side of the net is such a critical component to being successful. Opponents playing well, you want to play one style, opponents playing poorly, you play another. You have to be adaptable.
And the best teams do it quickly. They adjust very quickly on a dime. And some of the teams that struggle, you know, they wait. They don't recognize it as early, and you'll let 2 or 3 games go by without adjusting to your opponent's style. Sometimes you stick to your strategy a little bit too long. The best teams really have the emotional and intelligence to realize when they have to change, and sometimes midpoint.
Mr. Durant.
So that ball missed Mitchell. Game point. Durant. That ball is completely balled. Hard to see any flocking left at all. Morgan got stuck with the wrong grip, tried to drive that ball.
Fraser Morgan
Conti grip to
3
hit the lob.
2, first set.
Kind of feel like they missed an opportunity that game.
I agree. Paddle Pro. For over 20 years, Paddle Pro has been recognized as an industry leader in platform tennis. The knowledge, expert advice, vast inventory, and ultimate customer service will help any player find the perfect equipment to take your game to the next level. Paddle Pro is the only website to carry all platform tennis brands. For more information, go to www.paddlepro.com.
Hughes Powers looks sharp early in the next court. And interestingly enough, one of the few places in the rotation that Durant hasn't won a Nationals is Chicago.
Oh, really?
Lost here in 2011 to Parsons. Lost here in 2015 to Broderick. And lost here in the semis of 2018 to Hughes Powers, who won last time we were here. New ball for Tyler Frazier to serve, 5th game. Here we go. Who do you think the new ball helps more, the returner or the server, Anthony?
I think we talked about this one maybe during short hills. I don't know. I don't really think it has a big impact on either side of the court. I always liked serving with the new ball. I think the first return with the new ball might feel a little bit, right? Your return of serve, you gauge based on the kind of the density of the ball. So that first return or two is probably, you're at a little bit of a disadvantage as the returner. So maybe a slight advantage on the serve.
So that's not Morgan's game. Frazier can hit that shot, not Morgan. Doesn't quite have the quickness and athleticism that his partner does. Be careful not to do too much. And even though we've seen a few more missed returns than you'd expect from Durant Mitchell, the they're starting to really assert their strength at the net. And what do you think? They've been at the net 75, 80% of the time so far? But Durant calls that ball good.
Calls it good, and it looked like he did a look away backhand lob. Made it look easy.
Because, of course, he did. Here it comes. Oh.
That almost looked like a look away drive down the line. It's amazing what he can do with the ball.
Frazier backhand is so pretty. It's like virtually no backswing at all.
He preps that paddle so early and just lets it sit there, but you're right, there's no backswing. It's just waiting there.
It's his waist, right? Just his waist through.
And he can hit it at 3, 4 different paces from that same exact spot.
Such a great shot. There's just nothing that could go wrong with it.
15-30.
And the forehand has improved enormously. When he first came out, everybody was dumping the ball soft to his forehand constantly. Forehand's gotten much better. That's the nice thing about the top players. They all show you what you need to do better. 15-30, big moment in the match early here. Oh, great serve. He's just been serving like that all tournament.
30 all.
That's a tough decision for Mitchell, because if that ball hits the back wire first, he's going to have an offensive shot. Right. So does he block it? Does he not block it?
Yeah, and that's exactly what you could see on his face. That's exactly what he's going through in his mind. It's easier for us to talk about it than in the moment.
Giveth and he taketh with the serve.
40.
Serve is a fickle thing.
But it's so hard for a righty to serve, and something you would know about. A righty to serve to the deuce court, there's just nowhere to hit the ball. Yeah. With Durant, that's times 10. So there, Mitchell takes the opposite tack. Look where Durant's standing. If you don't think that's intimidating, you're wrong.
No. I already forgot who told me this, but yesterday we were talking in the tent over some dinner about if you really want to see,
jeez, look at that move,
what's going on the court, watch one player. Don't watch anything else but that one player for the entirety of the point and see what's going on. See how they prep for the point, see where they're moving. And Durant is a perfect person to do that for, because you can almost get inside of his head and watch when he's moving left and when he's moving right and what he's thinking to set up that next point and getting in the right spot to do what he wants with the ball.
It's virtually impossible to keep him in the backcourt for long stretches. Between the blitzing, the fact that he's one of the most underrated lobbers in the game, driving, just can't keep him back there. That's such a Durant-esque play, right? He's just creating chaos, creating havoc. Didn't win in transition, but forcing you out of your comfort zone to do something different. And never a sound from Durant.
Not even with his feet hitting the court. It's like he's floating around out there.
This is the lob there. Frazier Morgan, you know what's going on.
Dude.
That's a great point. Good level right now.
Yes.
Dig. Frazier say, I'm here next time.
Mitchell seems to be doing a pretty good job hiding the fact that he's not as mobile as usual. But it looks like he is not bouncing as much as usual. He's not pushing off as sharply as he can. We'll see if that becomes an issue later in the match.
3-1 Hughes Powers, the next court. Well, then Durant kind of runs out of patience, misses the backhand cutter.
Advantage, Mr. Frazier.
If needed, we know Johan Durant can cover 3/4 or more of the court if it comes to that.
I thought you said 3/4 of the planet.
So I don't think he'll be worried if Mitchell looks at him and says, cover a little more for me, but
Mitchell looked fine there, moving for that ball. I like the move of Frazier, kind of testing out Mitchell's movement there. Another miss from Durant. It's 4-2.
Frazier, Morgan. They lead.
You don't necessarily beat Durant. You kind of survive
set.
the onslaught.
yeah.
Frazier Morgan doing a great job so far.
Frazier and Morgan's game is very well suited to be able to neutralize, right? They can slow the pace down, especially on Morgan's side. So just like you said, they can survive the onslaught long enough to get Durant potentially a little bored and make some mistakes like he's just done. It's just a matter if they can keep that up long enough. As Durant gets a little more bored, he'll force the pace of play to his preference.
That's his shot.
That is.
Love.
Great one there. Mitchell got caught hitting the down-up overhead. Frazier took advantage. That's his bread and butter.
30-15.
It's so still at the net.
And that ball was up a little high as well. Frazier's definitely not afraid to go at Durant, down the line wherever he needs to. Keep him honest.
And I think that's something more teams need to do because Durant is so big and he's so tall at the net.
I mean, right at Durant is really your safest spot. If you put that ball out in front of him, he can do so many different things. He'll drop it. He takes the pace off of that drive with his forehand better than anyone. He likes to be leaning out in front of him for the volley. On our other court, Hughes and Powers are up 3-2 over Boris and Ardoya.
Durant Mitchell.
Strange miss there from
Frazier
Frazier.
Morgan
Just
lead,
a relatively easy
4
ball,
games to
Mr.
3,
Wide by 3
first
boards.
set.
an interesting match so far. You see all the players with their water bottles and towels on the court. And I was wondering if the rules should be changed. The courts have gotten so small with the movement. I tend to think that you shouldn't be allowed to have anything on the court anymore. It should all be outside the court.
I agree with you. As a matter of fact, that area where we see some of the water bottles on the side is easily in play, and I have to double check on the rule on that. But if you run into that area and that equipment gets in the way,
yeah, I'm just not sure why we leave anything on the court right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the players are just so big and fast. Okay, Morgan to serve. 3-4 first set. 4-3 first set. Comes in behind that one. Wow, and Durant pushes a backhand lob way long.
15 love.
You see a little bit of Durant cutting in front of Mitchell. You wonder if that's related to the injury.
yeah, it looks like he's trying to figure out just how much court he's going to need to cover. You have to wonder a little bit what the pre-game discussion was between Mitchell and Durant, saying, let's just play straight up for a while and see how I can handle it, or let's change things. It's hard to tell if they've changed strategy because of the injury. But
great ball there from Morgan. Forces the error.
30 love.
so being so close to Durant on this side of the court right now, he just doesn't look as focused as he should be at this moment.
Red court hits him there.
30-15.
Now he's jumping up and down. Looks like he's trying to get himself into this match.
Great little inside-out return from Mitchell. Just snapped that one off. So Durant just baited Morgan into driving that ball.
Ball goes long.
Hear that loud scream.
40-15.
Fraser Morgan, mine, mine. Okay, 2 points for 5-3. The ball kind of went through Fraser. Paddle was there, and then all of a sudden the ball was in his body. Big point right here, obviously. At least that's what John Lubau would say if he was here. Questionable decision there by Mitchell on a big point.
Fraser Morgan.
And Durant's nothing
They
positive.
lead 5 games to 4.
5 games to
First
3.
set.
5-3.
That was pretty good, guys.
Johan joking. Little miscue by our chair umpire, but quickly corrected. 5 serving 3. Johan Durant serving. Some of us on the court might be panicking at 5-3, but Johan Durant Mitchell are not.
Some of us might not have waited till 5-4 against Durant to panic.
Yes.
The only Chicago player on the court. Fraser from Cincinnati. one of the teams from the Midwest. 3 teams all East Coasters. South Africa qualifies the East Coast, Anthony?
Not the East Coast of the United States. A little confusion, but Frazier picks it up. Tyler Frazier, as you said, is from Cincinnati, Ohio area. He's the director of sports at the Camargo Club.
Great golf course.
Yes. Adam Morgan is the director of rackets at the Birchwood Club. Tyler Frazier is wearing the warm-up top with the orange stripes on the sleeve. Adam Morgan is in the white cap and the deuce side.
So we have 6 teaching professionals today and 2 civilians, as Lubau would say. Durant playing a very patient point here. A lot of reset overheads. And there he draws him forward, forces Morgan into an ill-advised decision.
15 love.
Well, in the round of 16 match that I was commentating, we had 4 civilians on the court at the same time, which I think is a rarity these days, but that was Hughes and Powers versus McNerney and Nolan.
Got a round of 16 or a quarter?
That was a quarterfinal, thank you, you're right.
Again, just one short lob, so all it takes. You see Durant's kind of buckled down, much more patient this game, waiting for the right opportunity.
It's really hard to gauge Durant's mindset, but I almost feel like he'd rather play in a close match. Like it almost feels like he lets the match get close so that he can dial up his intensity when he needs to.
Brilliant drop shot there.
He plays better in these moments than anyone else.
He went a long way to hit that drop shot. So hard to do that, moving that far and still have feel. Oh, great dig from Morgan.
Yeah, he had a double clutch that ball, but stayed with it.
Frazier Morgan playing very disciplined paddle right now. And you see Durant using that short volley, not necessarily a drop volley, just creating movement, creating space.
Morgan and Frazier are doing a good job noticing when Durant is a little bit farther off the net and putting in those probing drives that are just dipping over the net, because it's super dangerous to drive at Johan when he's standing at the net, but they really have a good presence to try to bring him up and back.
Another example of it. Not necessarily trying to win the point with that shot, just bringing him forward, creating movements.
What a scramble.
Mitchell looked pretty good
Around
in that
the
one.
post, he made it there easily. Great pickup by Morgan off the back screen.
That's a good sign for the Durant Mitchell fans there.
He took one big step at that ball, which would probably be the weakest stride when your groin is bothering you. So you moved well.
I'd say one big explosive step. Love the patience here from Fraser Morgan. You know, a 40 love point. Have a strategy and they're sticking with it.
Well, you could see Morgan is being very careful not to be baited into those shots, right? When
Mitchell hits the
great
cut winner.
Point
and game-ending drop shot.
Mitchell. Now Fraser Morgan lead 5-4.
It's rare you hear an umpire say now, but I guess Robbie knew what was going to happen, and he was just giving us a little
That's
notice.
right. He's got a little sense of humor up there as well. Why not? So when it matters most, Durant and Mitchell play a very, very clean game there. Morgan and Fraser did the right thing. They were very patient. They didn't get baited into the one-on-one combat. But no errors on Durant and Mitchell's side that game.
Well, it's going to take a very clean game here from Fraser Morgan to close this set out.
Tyler Frazier serving at 5-4 in the first set, men's semifinals.
Talked earlier, Anthony, about the players adjusting, and one of the things I've noticed this weekend is I've seen more great volleys off of blitzes. So when the opposition blitzes, the players have been able to handle that blitz volley, which normally is a winner. I've seen so many great reflex volleys.
I think the natural instinct and reflex is to take a step back, right, as you're getting blitzed. It's hard to be that close to someone right in your face, but really one of the only ways to succeed on that is actually to step forward and try to jam it right back at your opponents, and these guys can.
15 love.
Durant looks perplexed by that error.
Yeah. That's an error that he feels like he'll let himself make early in the set, but now that it's 5 serving 4, he's a little more frustrated.
Hughes Powers. They continue to hold on to that early break.
That's the second look away flip backhand lob from Durant. Oh, he lost the shoe.
So he called a let there.
The shoe coming off, I played without it.
He can.
The shoe coming off, I do not believe is a let.
No.
I think it is a let, and I think the second time it's lost a point. I think he's right.
Yep, that's what
that's right. The hat or the ball coming out of a pocket. That is correct.
Yep.
That is correct. Sorry, guys. I know that's the rule. Yeah, no, that is the rule. Okay. No, I am agreeing with you. So it is a let, but if it happens again, it's lost a point.
So Rob LeBoon clearly explaining the rule. If a shoe comes off during a point, it's a let. The second time that happens would be a loss of point. So Johan is double tightening his shoelaces a little.
If you stop the play, Johan, you're correct.
And Johan was quick to correct that, so he knew the rule clearly right off the bat.
So he's the best player, and he's the best.
And he knows the
rules. Rules too.
Well, when you're a club pro, it's good to know the rules to make sure your membership knows what to do at the right time.
Oh, what a volley from Mitchell. Durant hits the short up-down lob looking for the blitz.
Just dots the open court there. Perfect pace.
Great spot. This is a rare Durant volley error. And
30
2 points in the
love.
set.
Great point. Great point.
What a get from Durant. Great serve.
Amazing wingspan from Durant. Stretched all the way across the court to get that one. Frazier blitzing.
Another amazing volley from Mitchell.
That was that could be a game turner right there. That
30,
he had no business
50.
making that volley, backing up at his feet, win the point.
That's part of what I was talking about earlier. Just amazing some of these volleys these guys are making on the blitzes. I mean, Frazier took a full swing at that ball from above the net, height of the net. And Frazier's serve is really negating the Mitchell return. Nope, that's wide. Takes us to double set point.
Mitchell may have thought that ball was going to go long. Looked at the line a little, stared at that line a little bit longer, maybe threw himself off a little bit.
Dangerous overhead from Mitchell there. Great blitz. Oh, Frazier has them set on his paddle and misses that one.
That's exactly what he wanted to happen there.
30.
Played it brilliantly.
He was surprised he actually had such an easy volley on that one.
Smart move, taking a couple of seconds here to kind of regroup. Fires in another huge serve to Mitchell. Mitchell tries to return that one, and it's game in first set. Frazier Morgan 6-4. Okay, I'll be right back after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by eNet Live.
High performance never tasted this good. Chocolate, berries, cinnamon, agave. Fuel your car, then fuel your body with Remedy Plus.
Illinois Bone and Joint Institute is the best choice for orthopedic care. Our walk-in Ortho Access clinics provide treatment by orthopedic specialists without a trip to the ER. With evening and weekend hours, we provide your family with excellent care when it matters most. Visit ibji.com to find an Ortho Access immediate care clinic near you.
Men's semifinal. Frazier Morgan taking the first set of Durant Mitchell 6-4. Great return from Adam Morgan. Start set number 2. So Anthony, any thoughts on the first set?
I don't know. It just felt like Johan just didn't quite dial in to that first set, and I'm not sure if it was just being cautious about his partner's condition or not feeling locked in enough. But I think we'll see a strong start from Durant this set. He's not going to let this linger.
Definitely saw some strange errors there, even in the ultimate game of the set. There's that three-quarter pace drive for Morgan in the middle of the court, got him in trouble.
Thirty, 15.
What did you think of the celebration from Fraser Morgan after the first set?
You know, I actually noticed it. It felt like there was a lot of tension in the air, and he let all of that out. I mean, they know it's huge to get a set off of these guys, and
oh, what a volley!
You know that Durant Mitchell can turn a set at any moment, and they probably, at least in Fraser's mind, knew it wasn't over until that last point. And it all came out after they actually closed it out. It's not easy to close out a set against these guys.
It's just interesting because lots of times, you know, you watch athletes after winning a semifinal, or, you know, the goal wasn't to win the semifinals, right? The goal is to win the championship. Great get from Fraser. So you just wonder, you know, first set against Durant Mitchell, you're maybe 25% of the way there.
But you really have to play. I mean, there is no finals without a semifinals,
Yep.
right? So every set is maybe say you play every point like you're in the finals of the Nationals. So that set is a huge set.
Great volley,
Great
dig.
volley, and Fraser comes up with it.
Barshadoy a break on the next court to get back to 4-all.
No, I think that celebration was completely valid in the moment, and he didn't overdo it, but
40, 30.
it's big. It's big to take this set, that first set.
Game point. What a great blitz from Fraser.
Durant had
Some positive energy from Durant.
They win the first game.
You don't
of
hear
the
much of
second
that.
set.
I mean, you could tell towards the end of that second set, Durant felt like he was going to win that last game, and they did make a few mistakes that I think you could see in his head he felt were unacceptable. It seems to me he's willing to accept mistakes early in the set, but he really wanted to win that set, and now he's fired up.
Well, it's interesting, you know, different people compete in different ways, obviously, and just because Durant's quiet doesn't mean he won't step on your throat to win the match. Great sportsman in every way.
Oh, no.
But he's doing all he can do to win out there. Okay, Adam Morgan to serve. After a little housekeeping from Stephen Mitchell. Down 1-love. Set number 2. Practice serve with the new ball. Morgan's doing a great job of kind of mixing it up, coming in sometimes, staying back. Switch to the backcourt there to get Durant's forehand in the middle.
Big swing from Mitchell. Misses it just a little bit low.
Forehand is such a normally reliable shot. It's not nearly as effective as it usually is.
Yeah, well, you have to wonder if he's having trouble pushing off a little bit.
Great dig from Mitchell there.
Oh, it was
around the net.
A net cord around the net. What a shot.
Huge positive energy from Durant Mitchell.
All.
Durant tracked that ball the whole way, waiting for it to do something. is fired up.
Oh, maybe a little too fired up. That was a missile. Missed by a lot.
15.
Frazier's putting a lot of pressure on the returns by floating around that net. Even if he doesn't move, he's faking the move at least every time and then moves sometimes.
There you saw Durant take the second ball behind Frazier. Another great blitz. Frazier. Durant's not watching.
15.
He's got to be Mitchell's eyes there.
Yeah.
Flick volley from Mitchell. Two hands on the paddle.
He's right on top of that net, Frazier, just waiting for that ball.
A little surprised Durant hasn't taken any balls at him.
Yeah. I agree. I think he needs to send a message. Frazier's just a little bit too comfortable floating around that net.
Miss from Mitchell.
It's uncharacteristic.
Morgan Frazier.
So
Games are 1-all. First set.
He has not played quite like Stephen Mitchell.
Yeah.
Bad day.
1-1, Durant to serve.
As many points as you'll see Durant play on the right side of the net.
15, love.
Every 2 or 3 points, we're seeing a fist pump from one of the teams.
Yeah, that was that compact swing from Frazier. Goes right at Mitchell at the net. He really unloads on that quickly.
Great job by Frazier there, surviving the onslaught. That's the ball Frazier loves so much, that down up overhead to his backhand. Ron Mitchell have to be careful not to feed it to him too often.
Switch there, Mitchell now. Oh, switching back again.
Back, so a little change in strategy for Durant Mitchell.
Yeah.
Letting Mitchell in more of the overage, you're getting Durant standing and sitting on the net. Maybe looking to cut balls off at drop shots. Like that.
Just as you said it. You were in his head.
30, 15.
Maybe they were a little cautious about Mitchell's ability to hit some more overheads, but
well, that's not a
now or never.
Not a normal strategy for them.
No.
That's what we talked about. Good teams have lots of ways to play. Great blitz there from Frazier.
30 all.
Hughes Powers break right back to go up 5-4. It'll serve for the first set. Oh, huge return from Morgan. And they'll have a break opportunity.
30,
Frazier Morgan
40.
looked terrific.
Just playing amazingly consistent, patient paddle. The patience in the decision making right now is
Interesting there.
really
Durant went
top-notch.
overhand on the serve. First time we've seen that. Frazier hurt a couple of sidearm serves. We've seen Durant do that in the past. This is a big point right here. And there Durant slides to the left, but Durant wasn't watching
He wasn't
Frazier.
watching. We saw him turn his head, but they got away with it.
And he switched back there. This is going to be a super patient point from Frazier Morgan, I would imagine.
Mitchell fired up for the first time. Deuce.
Yeah, I don't mind the swing there from Frazier. That's his shot.
Yep.
Just didn't square his shoulders. Great transition ball from Mitchell. That ball caught the seam.
Looks like he should have still tracked that one down.
Yeah, I was surprised that one didn't come back.
Yeah.
Advantage, Mr. Frazier.
Durant goes sidearm that time. It's the volley, the only place Frazier can't reach it. He had 2 boards to make that volley. Mitchell was watching that volley.
Yeah. Just made the line. It's a huge point here. Even though it's only 1-all in the second set, you can sense the importance of it.
Had the opening, missed the backhand wide.
Dude.
Frazier looking for that backhand you mentioned. He really loves to look for that ball.
A few misses from Frazier all of a
Second
sudden.
backhand drive, he missed this game.
Advantage,
He had it
Mr.
measured
Durant.
well.
Also missed the one off the wires wide on break
Right.
point.
Takes a little pace off that backhand.
This is one of those windows you get against Durant. Don't get a lot of them.
Game,
That's a
Durant,
lot of backhand
Mitchell.
misses. They were all
They
good looks,
lead
I thought.
2 games to 1.
All the right
second
shots,
set.
just didn't
Frazier
execute in
Morgan
that
won the
game.
first set,
And you could
6
sense
games
that
to 4.
Durant really wanted to win that game. He dialed it in. Fusion, a proud partner to the APTA. Fusion curates what's next in branded gear and apparel for your company, your team, or your event. With a team of dedicated industry experts, Fusion curates high-end product selections for customization with your club logo, team name, or corporate identity. We create a stress-free shopping experience with custom online stores and quick custom ordering to get the gear you need now without any hassle. Visit gearbyfusion.com and let Fusion provide you with gear to fuel your brand.
Big shout out to Parker Brugge, one of our big fans watching in Virginia. Paddle fans all over the country. Yeah, that was, we'll see if that moment, what that moment meant, Anthony, because Fraser Morgan had their opportunities. And Fraser missed some makeable shots in the big moments there. I thought they were all good looks, just failed to convert, and they'll serve it 1-2 second set. On the next court, Noya broke back from 30 love, and they're at 5-all first set. That's what you want to see today. I want to see 7-5 in the third. I want to see pressure. I want to see stress.
That's what it's all about. There's only 2 matches today for those that get through the semifinals. To me, it felt like the last game was the first game that Johan looked intense. Like he really looked like this is where I need to make sure we start buttoning it up. I didn't feel that in the first set, but I have a feeling now
Love 15.
I think we're going to see a few games moving more towards Durant and Mitchell now, as long as it does look like Mitchell is hampered a little bit more. I saw a few shots. He came up a little bit lame after he was moving around, and I just saw him shake his leg just now. So he's definitely feeling it.
And there Mitchell switches, but Durant doesn't. He just stands in the middle of the court.
Just where he's going to be.
Well, that ball was flying. Surprised we haven't seen them playing more balls to Mitchell. I mean, like that ball there, Fraser turned and hit the ball to Durant. Durant ended up winning the point. That would have been easy to take that ball back to Mitchell.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. I think they should be finding him more and continue to test him and move him up and back and really see if they can see if he's favoring one leg or the other. But you're right, they haven't really been testing him that much.
I mean, in the best of times, as good a player as Mitchell is, you're
That's
trying to
the
find
target
Mitchell.
anyway, right?
Sorry for that block lob from Durant.
Fraser all over the net.
Confusion, Durant, Mitchell there. Mitchell never gets flustered. Well, maybe he should after that shot.
Yeah, he's probing in that area to see if he can get that ball just to pop up just enough off of Morgan's paddle so that Durant can come in and close it. It's a smart ball. But when you're hitting it at that pace, it really hurts to miss it. Durant back in the backhand.
Norris holds for 6-5 in the next court. First lead of the match for him. And you can really feel this match shifting here, Anthony.
I felt it. I think
15-40.
Those backhand misses by Fraser. Great comment from Dave Broderick. You see different looks from Durant Mitchell as they're moving around, shifting at the net, shifting in the backcourt. But I don't understand the number of balls that Fraser Morgan are playing to Durant. See the snow starting to accumulate in that back corner. What a volley from Durant. Huge point right here. And we often talk about these are the points determine who win or lose matches. And as often happens, Durant comes up with the goods.
Durant, Mitchell, they lead 3-1, second set.
And they convert where Fraser Morgan don't, and now they're ahead this set. Durant's got such amazing anticipation, doesn't he?
I mean, I think he just took a page right out of Fraser's playbook right there. He was all over the net looking for that return.
Looks like he knows where you're going to hit it before you know where you're going to hit it.
Mitchell calls Durant off that ball smartly.
30
love.
Yep. And the Morgan return was so effective early on.
Well, Mitchell really got to the net quickly on that serve. Made a great volley.
Great backhand there from
30,
Frazier.
15.
Durant finds the corner. Frazier not quite able to catch up with that one. 40-15.
Double set point in the next quarter.
Feel like we're getting some separation here in this match. Mitchell makes another fantastic volley off of Morgan's drive.
He's volleyed so well this set.
Yeah. He's getting a little closer to the net on his serve this set so far.
First set, Baruch-Shadoy is 7-5. Durant is locked in. That's 4-1.
Mitchell. They lead 4-1. Second set.
Remedy, the 2022-23 APTA Tour is brought to you by Remedy Plus. When you need the extra boost on the paddle court, grab a great tasting, body fueling Remedy Plus bar and Remedy Plus shot. Fuel your body right with Remedy Plus. So what's been the catalyst for this change? It feels like the momentum has clearly moved into Durant Mitchell's court here. Anything that you noticed
I really think Frazier Morgan just kind of missed the window. They had those break opportunities at 1-all. Frazier had some good looks. He pulled the trigger at the right moments, at least in my opinion.
Yep.
And missed them. And you're only going to get so many windows against the team as good as Durant Mitchell.
And you did. You said it early in the first set. You just have a small period of time, and they took advantage of it in the first set. But obviously that window's closing, and now they're going to have to just readjust, be a little bit more patient, and maybe extend the points a little bit longer. But it definitely feels like Johan Durant has changed. He's dictating the pace of play now, where it didn't feel as much that way in the first set.
We've seen very few bad errors from Durant Mitchell in the last 20 minutes. Oh. That ball was tagged. 4-1, second set. First set to Frazier Morgan, 6-4. And it's really going downhill fast right now. Oh, Durant from a forehand from deep in the court. Oh, Mitchell misses that one badly. That forehand from Durant was
15-30.
against the back wires. He just threaded the needle. This is a critical moment in the set here for Frazier Morgan. They've got to hang on.
Wow, amazing placement by Johan on that ball.
His ability to maintain touch and
40.
feel while moving forward is just unparalleled.
It's uncanny.
You see, lots of guys hit that volley hard. So few of them hit that soft touch volley and then
It's
close
really
behind
hard
it.
to keep that soft, you know, to move forward and keep the presence and the softness in your hands. It's nearly impossible.
Couple points for 5-1. Great goal there from Frazier.
Mitchell chases it down. He didn't look completely spry getting to that ball, but he found it.
There Durant pushes the envelope a little far.
Yeah.
30,
He had the right,
40.
the thought process was right. He should have just bailed at the last second. He thought it was coming a little closer to him.
One break point saved.
Frazier moving again at the net.
What digs
What a
from
dig.
Durant Mitchell. Another explosive move for Mitchell to get that drop shot.
Yes. It feels like he's saving his energy, saving his muscle soreness for the right time.
Oh, Durant almost knocked Morgan down with that drive.
A little high, but I think it was actually going to stay in anyway.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh, man, Durant misses a strange one.
Deuce.
2 break points saved. Frazier Morgan get out of this set. It could out of this game could change the whole complexion.
Durant finds that tiny little space down the alley that Frazier couldn't cover.
I was thinking the same thing. I mean, literally get that ball on
Anywhere
2
else.
boards.
Just amazing that Frazier's doing such a good job putting pressure on the placement, but Johan found the opening.
Snow continues to fall.
Court still looks dry.
Not seen the ball hydroplaning.
No.
What's interesting on the other court, I've seen Nick Doy doing a lot of sliding.
Yeah, I've heard the sliding over there.
Low overhead there from Mitchell.
Morgan and Frazier playing this point very deliberately. They understand the importance of this game at 4-1. If they can break here, they can stay in the set.
Sense a hard overhead from Durant coming.
Yeah, I don't know if he can keep this patience much longer.
Oh, look
Hits
at
the
that
snowboard.
How did that ball hit the
I don't know.
snowboard?
He
Advantage
definitely let it
to
drop
Mitchell.
low, pushed it deep into the court.
It looked
No
like it had
chance
too
on
much
that.
pace to hit the
I
snowboard.
don't know.
Wow. Another break opportunity to go for go to 5-1.
Frazier fakes.
Oh, that That is a loose shot there from Frazier. I don't know what he was doing with that ball.
They lead 5 games to 1.
I mean,
Second
we know
set.
Frazier likes to play at the fast pace as well, and they've been so patient right now. I think he just had a little bit of a
But there he's on the
little
deuce
glitch.
side, which they normally switch out of as quickly as they can. Big return from Morgan.
Love 15.
Durant serving at 5-1. Serving to win the second set.
Love 30.
Missed volley and a fault from Durant.
That ball was deep.
That ball was deep also.
Love 40.
Wow. I guess if you're going to play a bad game, you might as well play it up 5-1. Great block lob there for Frazier, a hard over at Durant. Oh, great dig from Morgan. That was a tough ball.
Yeah, that wasn't going to come out if he let it go to the screen. Very patient point from Durant there. I do sense he's waiting to uncork one shortly.
That point shows you how hard it is to maintain those lobs against Durant. Mitchell has put so much pressure on you all the time. Fast. You read the play perfectly, but missed it.
Durant Mitchell lead 5 games
Frazier
to
Morgan
2.
down 5-2.
Second set.
See if Durant Mitchell regret that game. That was 2 missed volleys from Durant and 2 faults. Really complete donation. Take a quick sneak peek at the other court. 2-1 Berger Doy, a second set. Get a sneak peek of Mark Powers kind of working on his forehand. Boy, you don't see that too often. Okay, so Tyler Frazier to serve. 2-5. Second set. Look at Durant just extend that arm out. Another great drive from Morgan, takes over the net. Again, look at Durant's court positioning. Inside the baseline. Again, why play that ball to Durant?
15.
That would have been an easy ball to play back to Mitchell.
Yeah, right now I think they should be hitting everything to Mitchell, really testing him over there. Like you said earlier, that's the strategy anyway, and I would think I'd be trying to exploit it even a little bit more right now.
And no disrespect intended to Mitchell.
No, I mean, I always have to speak in relative terms. He's an amazing player, but you can see the wheels spinning in Durant's head right now, and he's just looking for every opportunity to take advantage and take over the match.
Love 30.
Keep that ball away from him right now at all costs.
The truth is, regardless who's standing next to Durant, you want to find them.
Right.
Richie Mayer. Points from the set. Long conversation here. Frazier Morgan. Durant with some positive energy takes them to triple set point.
Love 40.
He is everywhere right now.
He is.
In fact, I think I saw him making hamburgers in the clubhouse.
I think I saw him win a point on Hughes and Powers court.
Yeah. Well, Mitchell has just not had any interest with that serve today.
No, I mean, clearly Mitchell is not at 100%, and I think he's doing well to survive over there, and that's the kind of the point we're making. You're just gonna have to work him over.
For those of you who think it'd be cruel and heartless to hit the ball till the guy's injured, yeah, that's competition.
Yeah.
You step on the court, you're healthy. Doesn't matter if you got ailments or not.
Ball comes out nice out of the corner, but
Durant Mitchell,
Morgan just misses it there, and we are at 6-2 in the second set. Split sets.
Absolutely, take your time.
One set all. Okay, we'll be right back in a moment after these messages here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by eNet Live.
High performance never tasted this good. Chocolate, berries, cinnamon, agave. Fuel your car, then fuel your body with Remedy Plus.
Illinois Bone and Joint Institute is the best choice for orthopedic care. Our walk-in ortho access clinics provide treatment by orthopedic specialists without a trip to the ER. With evening and weekend hours, we provide your family with excellent care when it matters most. Visit ibji.com to find an Ortho Access immediate care clinic near you.
Thank you, Karen.
Okay, welcome back to the APTA Tour. We're about to play the decisive third set. This men's semifinal, Durant Mitchell, Frazier Morgan. 3 of the 4 players have left the court. Durant has put on his sweatshirt to stay warm. Anthony, what do you think that Frazier Morgan need to do to stem the tide?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think they just need to find Mitchell and work him over until something points in the direction that they shouldn't do that anymore. Durant is completely dialed in right now, for sure. I think he was just a little aloof in the first set, but he's back and he's playing, and I wouldn't hit him a ball unless I absolutely had to at this point.
6-2, side
Quick
stage.
sneak peek, 2-all, 30-all second set. The thing that's just inexplicable to me is how many balls, and look, you're not going to be able to take Durant out of play all the time. He's everywhere. But there have been a number of shots they could have gone back to Mitchell, and they chose to go to Durant. Are you surprised by that?
Yeah, absolutely surprised. And maybe it's to your point, they feel bad for him over there, and they know he's hurt, and they're going to just play Durant a little bit more. I don't believe that for a second. But yes, they've almost been splitting where they're hitting the ball. I mean, you can even just see the way Mitchell is walking across the court as he comes back onto the court. He's not 100% healthy, or probably not even close to that.
Just saw John Hughes go down on a slide at the net. Got up and managed to win the point. They've got a break opportunity.
Graham McNerney made a joke yesterday to John Hughes because he fell early in the set, and he said, "Oh, you got your fall out of the way." So John Hughes is known for going down often on the court. Have to check what brand sneakers he's wearing. Have to get him some cleats. But he does go down. A very physical player.
Waiting for Frazier Morgan to come back.
So Snow continues to fall lightly. Court is still dry. There's a little accumulation in the corners. The majority of the playing surface is still clean and dry.
First couple games of the third set are going to be so critical.
I think if Durant gets his hands on the ball early in this set, it's not going to bode well for Frazier and Morgan.
Great crowd here. Gathered the bad weather. Although maybe for Chicago, this is good weather. Talked about it a lot yesterday. It was the first cold weather Nationals we've had in a long time.
Yes. The Chicago fans have no problem sitting out on the outside in the bleachers on those aluminum seats that must be freezing cold. You just put your towel across, your blanket across your lap, and put a hat on and enjoy the.
Bring lots of blankets and hand warmers.
Lots of blankets.
Okay, Frazier Morgan to return to the court. Mitchell will serve to start the third set. Players warming up the ball, and here we go.
Third set.
Red starting, I formation. Frazier Morgan generated so much offense in the first set from the backcourt, but not so much in the second set. It really felt like Durant was in control of so many of the points.
Durant Mitchell in the second set just showed more looks. They changed things up a little bit more. Weren't in any kind of repeatable patterns, and I think that kept Frazier and Morgan a little bit more on defense than usual, like you said.
A lot of slipping going on the next court.
Yeah.
Huge roar from Sven Burish. Pointing back and forth.
He was saying, I want to go twice to that side and once to that side. And great hands by Mitchell.
Mitchell's such a tremendous volleyer.
You know, to your point, Mark, about not being as offensive in the second set with Frazier and Morgan, it's really, you know, it's such a delicate balance of how much offense to try to generate and when to generate that offense. Obviously, you can't shut it down. You have to have confidence in your shots and continue to take them. But when the other team's playing so solidly, you kind of question it each game. Should I be hitting a little bit more, a little bit less? You know, Frazier's an offensive player. I think we do need to see a little bit more aggressive play out of him. Just to keep his own sanity.
Yeah, I just feel like if there are enough short lobs, Durant's going to find a nick, he's going to find a seam, he's going to find a cut winner. So you're compelled to hit a ball at some point. Big return there from Morgan. Another ball that could have gone back to Mitchell. Didn't. Lost him the net. Beautiful backhand, Mitchell at the Frazier, Morgan. Frazier hits.
And again, to your point, that's what he should be looking for. That's what keeps him engaged mentally in the points, to be looking for those shots. If he stops hitting them, it's going to change the whole makeup of his game.
He's so fluid and graceful.
When you get into these long points with Durant Mitchell at the net,
30,
sometimes
15.
you get into that zone where you just feel like you're waiting around to lose the point. Just like eventually a nick's going to come, eventually an overhead that they can end a point with is going to come, so you can't be idle for too long.
A real explosive move by Mitchell to run that ball down. Late decision. Way wide. Got away going to Durant there.
30, all.
Huge first game. Great recovery from Morgan. There's some trouble there. Durant looking for that nick.
Another ball that almost made it to the snowboard.
Great shot from Morgan. Catches Durant off the net, and they'll have a break opportunity to start set number 3.
40.
First time we've seen Frazier kind of follow his return in.
I think he thought his backhand was going to be a little lower, a little better than it was, but got caught with it a little higher over the net than he wanted. Put him in a bad spot. And that ball's out.
And these are the windows.
As soon as they had a little daylight, two poorly chosen shots, and now we have add in.
So again, I didn't dislike any of the 3 choices, but they lost all 3
game.
points.
And that's exactly what we saw towards the end of that second set. Same thing. Good choices, just not executing. And I mean, is that just a factor of being in the national championships, semifinals? Sometimes it's a little harder to make those shots.
Well, it also goes to margins. We talk often about margins, and Durant Mitchell just have a bigger margin to win than Frazier Morgan do. Doesn't mean they're going to win. It just means they have more options and more possibilities. Now the pressure really shifts to Frazier Morgan after that hold. It's too early to call this a must hold, but it's a critically important game.
Yes, we know how important the early games, especially in the third set, are, and it dictates the tone for the set.
Again, Durant just threading the needle.
Same exact 2-board space that he had last service game.
Very few cutters from Durant and not a lot of hard overheads out there. Testimony to the lobbing that Frazier Morgan have done. Down goes Hughes again. I tell you, that next court doesn't really look playable. So many slides and falls. This court's playing much better.
Yeah. You know, it's amazing how well Frazier and Morgan are lobbing with almost zero impact, though. You know, you almost don't notice how well they're lobbing because they're not getting many opportunities off it, because Johan is doing such a good job at neutralizing the next shot with a well-placed overhead like he can do. But
15.
against any other team, they would have twice as many offensive opportunities. Johan's really directing those overheads very effectively.
Miss there from Morgan. Kind of feel things closing down a little bit right here. Frazier Morgan have to step up and make some good decisions.
Love 30.
Morgan practicing his serve into the side wire.
Take for granted a little bit just how consistent all four of these players are, that when they make one or two unforced errors, how obvious it is and how obvious it becomes. But in the last two games so far, we've seen 2 unforced errors in this game and 2 unforced errors late in the first game.
Morgan gets away with those couple of drives, but geez, Durant closing in. By closing in, I'm talking about the net and the final.
Great stretch by Frazier. I thought that point was over.
It's just complete manipulation by Durant. He's got him on a string going everywhere he wants.
Mitchell. Daly, 2
Completely
games to
created
love.
that three-ball sequence of events. Johan knew what was going to happen.
And we saw from break point at the first game of the set, that was 7 consecutive points for Durant Mitchell. Durant showing you why he's the greatest player who ever played the game. Is that what we watch sports for, Anthony? To see greatness?
Absolutely. It's art
Love
watching Johan
15.
Durant play. We're some of the luckiest. We're in one of the luckiest times to be watching paddle tennis, to have someone like Durant playing. And I mean, all 8 players today are just amazing athletes. Just amazing to watch them play. They make the game look so easy. And if you've ever stepped on a court, you know how hard it is to do anything close to what they're doing.
One of the mysteries of our game is it looks so simple from outside the wires.
The better you are out there, the more simple it looks. And I'll admit, after I come home and I get on the court after watching this, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be able to play like this and play like that, and it just never quite works out that way.
Oh, Frazier with maybe an ill-conceived blitz, but gets away with it. Love 30.
Well, I think we need to see a little bit more of that from them. They're going to need to just upset the flow that Durant has right now. And like I said, Frazier needs to play aggressive. That's how he needs to stay engaged.
Look at Durant. Which side is he playing? Both. Look by Frazier again. Durant just 1 step ahead of him.
15-30.
Once you commit to that, he overcommitted a little bit, and Morgan wasn't able to catch up. It's an amazing lob by Morgan, but Johan covers it so well, and he's back to the net in time to make a great volley.
30 all.
You know, again, I don't want to say it's a must game for Frazier Morgan, but from love 30,
It's feeling more and more like this is just going to get out of hand for Morgan and Frazier if they don't turn it around quickly. So I agree with you completely.
There you saw Frazier looking for the down-up overhead, and Durant read it and went straight at him. Morgan makes him pay on a bad Durant overhead. And they've got another break
30,
opportunity.
40.
Have to step through this window. Going overhand. Oh, huge return from Frazier, and they've got the break back.
Game.
Much needed.
Frazier
much
Morgan.
Needed break.
Durant Mitchell lead 2-1, third set.
And for Frazier to do it with the forehand return. Tremendous action. Great response from Frazier Morgan there.
That was in direct contrast to the end of the previous game, right, where they didn't execute on the right shot to take at the right time, didn't execute, and in this instance, 2 great shots in a row. Perfect execution, and that's the difference.
Three all in the second set. Hughes Powers saved 2 or 3 break opportunities there. That match is tight, as is this one. Okay, Frazier to serve. 1-2. Third set. There's just no ball that's dead. These guys move so well. Great pickup there from Frazier. Just such a dynamic athlete. Durant misses the change of direction overhead. I don't know why he changed direction. He had Frazier scrambling and in the corner there. To me, this is one of the keys to the match, Anthony. The Frazier serve to Mitchell, whether it's because of Mitchell's injury or what, he's really limited the Mitchell return. Oh, how high up in the air was Durant?
I don't know. He all of a sudden looked like he was 12 feet tall right there.
Extended the arm.
I don't know how he got up that high, but he knew he didn't want to miss the opportunity to get that ball.
I was sure that ball was over his head when it left the Frazier paddle. That was a great shot. Oh, unbelievable play. Great work from Frazier Morgan staying in the point.
These types of points are the ones that really keep Durant engaged. He's going to play. He's going to gain so much steam and momentum from a point like that. It's right up his alley, and finish that point strong.
Morgan did such a great job into that last ball. That's such a hard ball to control. He's got a hard roller right at you. See if Mitchell takes another swing here. Has not had much success. Nope, blocks that one.
That's a great serve. He's really getting it in tight to that swing.
Big forehand for Mitchell, but Morgan has the answer. Getting some good cuts in, and that was not a good cut. Kind of decelerated on that swing.
Yeah,
30.
He's missed that spot a few times. That spot with that pace, he's missed a few times.
30 all. I tell you, Frazier has served brilliantly. I don't remember one fault from him the whole match.
30, 40.
But serving to Durant is just, it's impossible.
Durant really got a great look at that one.
Great opportunity to go back up 3-1. Look at him firing that one in. Good spotted drive from Durant.
Oh, Adam.
Down goes Morgan.
Oh no. Looks like it caught him in the face and then he tripped.
Yeah, it looks like he's okay.
I
Might have
think
cut
he's
his
okay.
hand. I think he was just kind of sliding to his right. And Durant got it high up on his kind of right armpit, which is just a perfect spot. Knocked him down.
I think he's okay. Just as he was bailing out, he tripped.
Game, Durant Mitchell. They lead 3-1. Third set.
Doing some housekeeping. But again, Durant just coming up with the goods in the big moments.
Yep.
See that every time that ball was coming back to his forehand, he's taking that ball cross court, finding the right hip, the right armpit.
He's throwing every look at Morgan and Frazier right now. I mean, that was a great shot. It was a little, you know, little bit high, but the right shot, good pace.
Well, Frazier, Morgan need to respond. They're back down a break. Can't lose touch on the scoreboard here.
Morgan looks fired up after that, so.
Durant just looking for that nick. Mitchell's such a great positional volleyer.
Oh, forward one. Just missed that one wide.
Love 15.
Sean Yu serving 3-4. Second set. Oh, what a shot
stab
from
by
Mitchell.
Oh.
Oh, that ball was behind him. He was in full retreat, a little backhand half volley flick.
The decision making there is just amazing because he knew that ball was not going to make it off the back screen or he wasn't going to be able to chase it down. He stabbed it and it ends up winning the point for them. What an amazing shot. And that'll take the steam out of your point real quick when you're Morgan and Frazier to have a point like that go against you.
That little loopy forehand from Durant. Just constantly asking questions.
Yes.
Great read from Frazier. Durant has the answer.
One big step and a long reach from Johan Durant, and he's there.
And catches the nick. Great volley from Morgan.
15-30.
Frazier, Morgan just have to find their way to the net. They've had some success there. That's a surprising volley error from Mitchell.
15-40.
Another opportunity for Frazier, Morgan.
They are human, Mark. They are human.
Well, that one was flying, but Durant can't get out of the way. And Frazier, Morgan respond again.
Durant
That's a
Mitchell
big game
leads
for
3
Morgan
games to
Frazier
2. Third set.
What a great game they played there.
Yes.
They absolutely needed it.
That one's going to sting a little bit for Durant. It was going way out.
But it wasn't intended to go in. And that's, you know, all fair, right? You're trying to, Durant's playing on top of the net.
Absolutely.
You can hit him, power to you.
A little tit for tat. I mean, that's the same shot he went at Morgan for. Not necessarily trying to keep that ball in, just make a play or make a decision.
So that 4 consecutive breaks we had there?
I think so.
Only hold a serve was Mitchell first game of the set. He faced some
ball,
break
gentlemen.
opportunities.
We have a new ball. Adam Morgan to serve. They're doing a tremendous job staying in this set. There's a couple of times this set could have gotten away from them, and they're hanging in there. It's a big
Morgan
game.
taking a practice serve with the new ball. And here we go. Sometimes Durant will retaliate for getting hit. We'll see what happens
Well,
here.
I mean, you saw Morgan take a big rip at his first return of serve after he got hit, so think he was trying to make a statement too.
Maybe all fair, but nobody likes getting tagged.
Yes, exactly. As much as you know it's the right shot and it's all within the rules and everything, it's still a little bit of an ego thing.
And make no mistake, there's a lot of ego on that court.
Of course.
You don't get this good without it. New ball's so yellow, especially in contrast to the ball in the next court.
It's interesting because this court, our court, looks so dry, and you hear sneakers squeaking on our court, and you hear sliding on the other court. So even with this light snow right now, this court is completely dry. The other one might be a little bit.
And if our viewers are wondering, this will be the court that national championships are tested on. And finds the nick there. It was another slide.
Love 15.
Kicking of the wires. He's furious. Wonder if they're upset with the playability of that court.
Medical timeout.
We got a whole bunch of bleeding coming off of Morgan's hand. Take an MTO.
That's a tough place to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
Not sure a Band-Aid's going to work there.
Such a.
Just he scraped the palm of his hand as he went down.
Your heart's beating so hard and the blood's pounding. It's always hard to do. Durant goes back to the sweatshirt, smart.
Maybe we can take a quick dash over to the Hughes Powers match during this brief medical timeout.
Hopefully brief medical timeout.
Yes. Well, what's the rule on that? I think, what do we have, 10, 15 minutes for?
It's less than that.
Is it?
I think it's 6. Okay, so here we go. I don't think. I think it might be 4 all over there. Find out after this point, or at least find out the game score after this point. I think it's the first point of the 4-all game. We've seen a lot of sliding over there. Okay, so Love 15 over there. And you see the difference in the two courts, Anthony.
Yeah.
Ours is bone dry and theirs is still pretty wet. So I think Odoya's serving 4-all, Love 30. Odoya been to the last 2 national finals. 3 consecutive finals for them. They played very little paddle this year.
Yeah.
I don't think they were considered one of the pre-tournament favorites. They played really well, all things considered. Most in the quarters to Boston, semis to Short Hills.
You know, what is the right number of matches to play at this level? I mean, we have guys that play 5 to 10 matches, and you have guys that play a handful of matches. Obviously, Bursch and Odoya, they play in a very consistent way with each other. They know how each other play. I don't know if they need to get on the court 7 or 8 times a year.
The interesting thing is they're just a completely different team this week than they've been the previous couple of weeks. They just had not played well since Montclair. Never a whole lot of doubt of what's going on with Mick Odoya.
No.
He and John Hughes.
John Hughes, a lot of emotion there.
Break opportunity here. 4-all, 30-40. Server return there from Powers. Been fire in those returns. Hughes with the blitz. Great dig from Odoya, but he can't get that one, and they'll serve for the second set, similar to the first set. They served for the first set at 5-4. and Mitchell both in their hoodies. Staying warm, moving around. Do you think they should go inside?
You know, I was just going to ask you, what does this break mean to either team? Who does it help? I mean, I think I would be out on the court just as they are, maybe bouncing
Hitting
up
some
and down.
balls.
Yeah.
Looks like Durant maybe looking for a ball now to hit.
Yep, exactly. So.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He wants the ball to hit. I think that's a smart move.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely, Johan.
Chair umpire Laboon didn't want to easily give up that game ball, but we'll find another one for them.
Tiernan Cavana, the president, left the door open. She now owes us 15 push-ups. Hughes and Powers are like exactly the same situation they were in the first set, Anthony, serving 5-4, 30 love. This time it's Powers, last time was Hughes. And they close this set out. Well, we have a Frazier back, but not a Morgan.
Can you have Karen bring some more balls out? Thank you.
Laboon looking for a couple more balls. Triple set point on the next court. Hughes Powers, they tend to close out the second set.
This break might work in Morgan Frazier's favor a little bit with, you know, I don't think Stephen Mitchell wants to get tight right now, especially with his injury, so.
But is it going to be hard for Frazier Morgan to come back? 5, 6, 7 minutes, we've been in a break now. Cold, haven't hit any balls, get a little stiff. With a couple of huge forehands, lead cord. Oh, what a volley! What a volley for Burish. Hughes turns and asks Powers, is that going out? 2 set points saved. We're going to stay there until we get all 4 players back in the court here, so you promise you won't miss any action. Set point number 3 for Hughes Powers. Doy is just firing that forehand.
And one more. Oh.
Here it comes.
Thank you very much.
Oh, it's good, and Hughes misses the turnaround drive. It's similar to Adoy. You know exactly what's going on in the mind of John Hughes. That's 3 set points saved. See Adam Morgan emerging from the hut. Wow, Doya really coming up with the goods in the big moments. And Burish had a spectacular reflex volley. Conversation between Hughes Powers here, kind of regrouping.
Adam, you have the game ball last. Okay. Thanks, Tyler.
Frazier and Morgan are back.
Trying to locate the game ball on our court.
Frazier Morgan trying to get loose. Hughes with a dive on the next court.
Love this team.
Doya feels so badly about it. Hughes is down, completely prone. Just couldn't catch up with that ball. Doya caught him deep in the court with the hard overhead.
You really don't want to slide on this court. All right, we're starting up action again.
Love 30.
Yeah, so back here, a fault for Morgan to start. That's one of the concerns, right? You're inside.
That's exactly what you said, Mark. Will he be able to come right back out after 6 minutes? Cold, and he missed the first serve.
Catches the nick there.
15-30.
Let's get Continue the Chicago fans, led by his wife Allison, cheering. That's a ball no one else in the country, with the possible exception of Juan Araya, would have followed in. Right, hard drive off the back wire, the easiest ball to reply with. And Durant's up there making the volley look like it's nothing. More positive energy
Amazing
from Durant.
how he goes back behind with the spin, kept it just above the snowboard, and it bounced almost down after it hit the back screen.
Couple of break opportunities for our 5th consecutive break. Another set point on the next court. Hughes Powers, they saved a break point. A couple of missed returns. Why Frazier missed that ball?
Just enough to the side
Mitchell.
screen. He looks like he hesitated for 1 second, deciding for the back screen.
Next hold wins.
Durant, yeah. Durant to serve, 4-2. Durant misses his first serve.
Yeah, from time to time he struggles with that sidearm serve. We've seen him go overhand. Looks like he's doing that here, yep. Boy, Anthony, we are awfully lucky to be sitting here with these two matches right in front of us.
This is some of the best stuff.
This is fun.
We've seen just about everything. A lot of, there's blood on both courts. We've seen a few people get hit with balls. Johan really working that screen. That's the second one Frazier's missed this game.
Misses the lob. Back to Deuce over there. It just looks like Frazier Morgan a little airs out of the balloon, doesn't it? A couple of misses
30,
we hadn't seen from them in the past.
Now 3 missed screens in the last game and a half.
Durant's going overhand again. Amazing how small the court's gotten, Anthony. The athletes are so good, the hands are so good, movement is so good.
I mean, you said it earlier, every ball is retrievable. Just about every ball is retrievable with these players.
And these exchanges we're seeing at the net where it's boom, boom, boom. I think this is a game Frazier Morgan have to have. Set point number 5 for Hughes Powers the next court. Look at Durant moving him around. Catches the nick with a big fist pump, and it's 40-15.
4 shots now with
40,
Durant winning
15.
points outright off of the screens.
Durant has now abandoned the sidearm serve completely this game. It's been a great move.
What smooth coverage from Mitchell.
Yeah, I
on
was
that
thinking
one.
the
Just
same
slid
thing.
right behind Johan. Any other team may have been confused on that, but it's just amazing how seamless that was.
Look at Hughes' shirt. John Hughes has got blood everywhere.
Said that we have a lot of blood. Morgan goes long.
Well, Johan Durant has simply taken
Durant,
over this
Mitchell.
match.
I mean, we're
They
saying
lead
Frazier and Morgan
5
are
games
making
to
errors, but
third
Johan
set.
is really directing traffic out there. He's just forcing them into the positions they are and making some, you know, you could say they're unforced errors, but just so much pressure.
Take a quick sneak peek at the other court. Hirscher Doyle with a break opportunity after having saved 5 set points. If you get a look at John Hughes, that red on his shirt is not by design. That is blood. He is covered in it. I think now he's holding his paddle. Look at his right hand. Fortunately, it's a one-handed backhand.
I saw him actually. I think he has the same injury that Adam had. He scraped his palm of his hand, but I think he also lifted up his shirt and he has scraped up his whole stomach area.
That must have been in that dive we saw. Okay, so back to our court. Tyler Frazier to serve to stay in the match.
Serving at 2-5 in the third set. Do they have any chance of coming back from this, Mark? It's really, I mean, Durant keeps just incrementally picking up his game, and Mitchell is just playing so solid.
You know, you never want to say no in a platform match, but boy, Durant looks like he's in complete control right now.
I'm sure we'll find out a little bit more after this match, or probably after the Nationals, if Mitchell and Durant get to the next round, which it looks like they will do. Just how injured Mitchell is, like I said earlier, I think he's hiding it very well. It's been a non-issue in this match.
He's had a couple of real explosive moves to track balls down.
I thought they would work him over a little bit more and really test him. Hasn't been the case.
Hughes Powers save another break point on the court next to us. God, this has been otherworldly. This is the only place we've seen any indication of Mitchell being injured. He just hasn't been able to generate any power at all.
He hasn't been able to hit his return of serve like usually. And he's hopping and limping for sure. But I'm really amazed that he's been able to compensate for it all match.
Looks like it's the left leg that he's trying to keep pressure off of Durant. Grand forehand miss from Durant. Frazier's worried about the nick, tried to pick that one off. They're 2 points from the end.
15-30.
Another break point saved by Hughes Powers. That game is a saga all by itself. 15-30 here.
Frazier really swings through that serve.
Oh, Durant was there. Didn't make it.
Mitchell didn't even make a move for that ball. It was clear that Durant was going to chase it down the whole time. And that's kind of what I think if they're going to reflect on this match, if it doesn't go their way, it's why they didn't try to exploit Mitchell a little bit more over there, because there was no way he was catching up to that ball. First real aggressive overheads we've seen all match from both Frazier and then one from Durant.
Game in second set. Hughes Powers. Oh, what a dig. Oh, Durant with a little flick. backhand from Frazier forces Mitchell to flip his paddle. Mitchell's such a great positional volleyer. You rarely see him hitting that forehand volley. Just has him constantly under pressure. Oh, what a volley. Great move by Frazier.
Frazier was almost at the service line hitting that
down
drive, and Durant, amazing how he handled that ball. Not surprised, but still an amazing shot. $30-all. This is really a big point for Morgan and Frazier if they're going to stay in this game, stay in this set. Perfect cross-court lob.
Morgan. Durant misses the lob back.
Great point by Morgan.
40-30.
First deuce point they've won this game. Would both add points to Mitchell. And lost both deuce points to Durant. Oh, Mitchell out of nowhere.
Gets his first good look at a return.
That was an aggressive, kind of an ambitious move there from Frazier.
I mean, he's standing here in the green, so maybe a little far back. I mean, he likes that shot. He can hit it.
That was a hard overhead to take a cut at.
Yeah.
Back to deuce. Mitchell out of nowhere at the first drive through. He's had the whole match on return serve.
I think so.
Durant is just taking that serve off the deck every time. It's a good serve. He's just pounding it. The noise coming from Frazier Morgan as they're chasing down and dealing with all the Durant overheads. Great ball there from Morgan, from Frazier. Oh, what a get from Morgan again! Of course he's going to get it. Expect anything less?
Durant really put it in a good spot too, and Frazier able to chase it down.
Earlier in the point, we saw Morgan jumped, let the ball go through the 5-hole, and still was able to chase it down. That wide end?
They looked wide to me. They played on.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a really good look right here, but that ball is moving fast.
Focus on the eyes of Durant Mitchell.
They really don't want to leave the door open here. I think they feel it. They just want to close this out of this game.
Durant's roller at the deuce court. Morgan's doing a fantastic job. He's hit the nick 3 times this point. Oh, and he misses an easy one.
Tremendous point.
Great action from Frazier Morgan staying in that point.
Advantage, Mr. Frazier.
These are the points, though. They haven't been playing well. They've made some bad choices. And,
Yep.
and not even bad choices, really just lack of execution right in these big moments. And we saw the last add-in they have. Frazier took a drive that probably he shouldn't have. Let's see if they make a better choice here. That hits off of Adam Morgan.
Yeah, Frazier hopefully calls
hit.
it out
He
and
thought
finds
it
out
was
to hit
out.
his partner. Big forehand there from Mitchell.
And we have a match point. Nope, I'm
Nope,
sorry.
back
I'm
to
sorry.
deuce, yep.
We're at deuce. We're at deuce. Okay,
Let me guess, Durant's going to take this roll of the deck and pound it through.
I thought he was going to go back down the line again.
Those are tough serves. Just picking them like they're nothing. Overhead is so hard to handle. It's so hit with so much pace. It's hard to control it off the deck, but you got to go so far to catch it. Oh, Mitchell misses that one.
Advantage, Mr. Frazier.
The third ad in.
They are fighting hard. Love the competitive fight from Frazier Morgan.
He's not holding back on his serve for this point in the match.
There are good nicks and there are bad nicks. For Tyler Frazier, that was a bad one. That popped out beautifully for Mitchell. Room service hop. Durant lets one get through to the wires. And that takes us to our first set match point. You saw how far Morgan had to travel for that ball. And those are the decisions you're talking about.
That's exactly what we were talking about, right?
Just like so fine.
Right time, the right place, just execute. And when you speak to players after the match, that's what they say. We're right there. We just didn't make that one shot or those two shots. All these matches come down to just a few execution points.
Durant, this is the lob.
Yes.
Blitz by Frazier. I don't think Durant saw it, but they got away with it when he was back.
Anthony, I think it's too big a statement to say this is the best paddle I've ever seen on these two courts.
I mean, this is incredible.
Level is just off the charts.
There have been some amazing matches this season. I think I've seen the best paddle in my life this season for sure. And this is definitely one of the top 2 or top 3 matches of these. 2 of the top 3 matches I've seen all year. I wish I could watch a little bit more of the Burris-Ordoya match, but got our hands full here.
Fortunately, our hands are clean. They're not too bloody.
No blood in here.
Oh, what a flip of the paddle from Durant. Great drive from Morgan.
I mean, this is some of the best points I've seen Morgan and Frazier play this set. But will they win it? That's the biggest question. Even when they're playing their best points, Durant and Mitchell are still directing the pace.
Misses the hard roller.
Gets a little bored. So that's what I was trying to say here. And this point is
Mr. Frazier.
Frazier and Morgan are playing these long points. They're extending the points. And give Durant just a few too many shots to look at. Sometimes he gets bored. He gets a little too creative.
Just caught too much of the ball on that rolling overhead.
Our third ad in.
Another big return from Mitchell. Mitchell misses the overhead, and we have a hold.
2 missed overheads in a row.
Frazier Morgan.
That was just an amazing game Frazier Morgan played.
That's classic paddle, grinding it out. making great decisions and not putting in yourself in a position to mis-execute a drive, right? So really smart to see them adjust.
Stephen Mitchell will serve for the match at 5-3.
Mitchell's been handling that first volley so well on that side from Morgan. It's not an easy shot.
Virtually every point is being played now with Durant Mitchell at the net. That was a hard volley.
I mean, it was a forehand. He had to flip his paddle to the forehand, and it was 3 feet below the level of the net. So 99% of the paddle community would have missed that volley.
That's the blurt right there.
Is.
So he makes 30, 35, 40 good decisions. One bad decision, he loses the point. Oh my God, what a volley from Mitchell. I didn't even see the ball.
I didn't see it either. Was that, you sure Mitchell volleyed that one?
Yeah, I'm almost positive. Mitchell volleyed. I think Durant swung and missed at it.
Was it a let court and hopped over his paddle?
He just missed it.
30, love.
So, right, same kind of situation here. We had Frazier took a half swing and missed the drive, and Morgan hits one into the net here too.
2 points from the match.
Oh, Morgan goes long, triple match point.
40, love.
I mean, it just shows how hard it is to keep focus point after point when you're playing against Durant and Mitchell. They just don't give you anything. It's almost just impossible to sustain the focus for 3 sets. Somehow dug that up and put it down the line for a winner.
As Durant
claps.
Yeah, thought he had no chance to get that ball out.
I thought it was match over actually.
Match point number 3. Catches the nick. Morgan has done an absolutely brilliant job in that deuce court defending the Durant overheads.
Yeah.
The last 2 sets, Durant has just been locked in. Durant loves that pattern. One ball to the left, ball down the middle, and then he takes that hard at the nick.
Right.
Sometimes it's a little less hard.
How's this point going to end, Mark?
I'm going to say a Durant overhead that they can't handle.
All right. I think I'm with you on that.
Use Powers hold and consolidate their break. Let cord there, stays in the court. Even his let cords are good.
Right.
Ball had so much spin on it to stay in the court.
I mean, these long points is where we've seen Mitchell and Durant miss some overheads here, so it's a good strategy. Stay in this point.
Stay in this point sounds so simple, doesn't it?
Well, sure. It's easy from here.
Just the nick. Great read from Frazier. There's the change of direction. Great dig from Morgan.
Morgan digs out 2 great shots in a row, and he's going to have to do 3.
Wow.
But you do sense that the longer this point goes, the more we have a chance of a nick or an overhead that they're just not going to be able to recover from.
What time's your flight, Anthony?
I have a little time.
Another hard roller from Durant. Cutter, the look away.
Look away. This still doesn't work. I'm a little surprised we haven't seen Durant really just go for something this point.
Oh, missed lob, long game, set, match. Durant Mitchell, 4-6, 6-2, 6-3. That was special, Anthony.
Fantastic battle. I mean, the only thing I think Morgan and Frazier, if they go off this court and think about the match, is just not finding Stephen Mitchell enough. I'm not sure it would have changed the outcome of the match, but I think they had to test him a little bit more and see if he could keep up. But phenomenal match. Great battle. Great to be watching this match.
So much fun to watch Johan Durant. I want to say in his prime, is that inappropriate for a guy who's been at the top of the game for 12 years, 13 years?
He's like a fine wine. I mean, I think he's got to be around 45 years old, still playing at the top of the game, and he's playing his best paddle I've ever seen him play.
Just a remarkable athlete, remarkable performance, and kudos to Frazier and Morgan.
I mean, they played a great match. They sure did, and what can you do? Like you said, the window for Durant is they have so many tools and so many opportunities to win, and everyone else's chance of winning is so small, and you have to execute perfectly within that small window, and very few teams are able to do it.
I think Frazier Morgan would have won this match today against any other team in the country.
Absolutely. I mean, they're playing amazing paddle. I mean, the matches they've played this whole tournament have been solid. Like I said earlier, they played 2-set matches all the way through the tournament. And there's some great depth in this Nationals this year. So,
okay, Anthony, I just want to say it's been a pleasure working with you this year. This is your last match of the season. It's been great having you in the booth. And
thank you, Mark.
With all apologies to everybody else, you're my Rookie of the Year.
Well, I think I'm the only rookie, so I appreciate that in two respects.
There you go. Okay, we're going to be back with the men's final, I believe, at 1 o'clock. That's going to depend on when the match next to us ends. It'll probably be an hour after the conclusion of the Burschkoy-Hughes power match, so I encourage you to tune in. And we'll be back then right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by eNet Live.
High performance never tasted this good. Chocolate, berries, cinnamon, agave. Fuel your car, then fuel your body with Remedy Plus.
Illinois Bone and Joint Institute is the best choice for orthopedic care. Our walk-in ortho access clinics provide treatment by orthopedic specialists without a trip to the ER. With evening and weekend hours, we provide your family with excellent care when it matters most. Visit ibji.com to find an Ortho Access immediate care clinic near you.